We are excited to bring you our last pillar of wellness. So, just to recap, I'm Ashley Cornell, a registered dietitian at Carr Chiropractic, and I'm here with Dr. Wayne Carr, Doctor of Chiropractic at Carr Chiropractic. And we have been focusing on the pillars of wellness and that encompasses all of what functional medicine kind of stands for, working on trying to address all of your guys' lifestyle factors. And so far, we have hit on sleep, relationships, nutrition, stress management, and now today we're going to be bringing you movement. So there's certainly great benefits with activity, but there also comes great risks with inactivity. So inactivity is a significant leading cause of death and causes increased mortality, essentially meaning that somebody is going to die earlier than they typically would if they were to lead an active life. Every hour that you're not moving is associated with increase of fatty liver disease, and people who have more time where they're sedentary, there's a greater association with developing cancer and later dying of it. So the wonderful benefits of activity, it's going to improve your metabolism. So it's going to improve the amount of calories your body needs to sustain itself. It's going to improve your brain health. You're going to be able to focus more, think sharper, and it's going to slow down any cognitive impairments that we may encounter as we age, like dementia. It's also going to reduce depression, which therefore is going to improve our overall mood and improve our overall quality of life. So certainly there's wonderful benefits of activity far beyond maintenance of weight and muscle mass gain. But movement also comes with a lot of joy. So movement is a way that somebody can express oneself socially and connect with others. Oftentimes people may go to workout classes. Here and here on we have wonderful gyms, and in particular we have a new workout facility that focuses solely on classes, and that alone has brought a lot of human connection. You can get a sense of belonging by being able to do that type of work with people and surrounding yourself with people who have the same like-minded thoughts. It's going to reduce anxiety, reduce loneliness, and reduce depression. So what is the best type of exercise? It's going to be the one that you'll do. So all exercise is great as long as you're going to do it. No one is better than the other if you're not going to do it. Running may have a lot of benefits, but if you're not going to be a runner, then it's not the best form of exercise.
So Ashley, what is the exercise you will do or you enjoy? What is it that you like to do?
So running is my preferred form of exercise. It's what brings me a lot of joy, and it's the type of exercise that I do on a very regular basis. And while there's certainly some days that it's not nearly as enjoyable, more often than not, I'm going to get more joy from running. And I always get more joy from running than not running. What
So
is
then,
your preferred type of exercise?
are you doing other forms of exercise?
Well, I am also lifting more so for the health benefits and to protect my body from injury so that I can keep running.
Very good.
And your preferred form of exercise?
So some of my preferred is based on the fact of what I need to do is continue to build muscle. Um, your muscle is your primary organ that helps with longevity. So I want to keep that. I do some cardiovascular exercise with biking, probably more preferred than running. Walking, of course, is good, hiking and things like that. And then working on flexibility and my balance through my weight training works really well too.
Excellent. So the best time to exercise, there's kind of varying spots with this. The data that was collected in a very large study showed that people who exercise in the afternoon may have had a little more longevity, which is what Wayne was referencing into the importance of muscle mass. Longevity means living longer, but ideally living longer, healthier. But people who exercise in the morning maybe had more fat burn because they increased their caloric burn in the morning, and then that continued on throughout the day. So both times are going to have great benefit. Depending, they may differ a little bit, but linking it back to the best type of exercise you're going to do, if you're only going to be able to exercise in the morning, it's a lot better than not exercising at all. So often, ultimately you have to find the time of day that you're going to be able to consistently get it in.
So what works best for you?
I I'm a morning person, so I like exercising in the morning because of my day to day. It's very difficult for me to work out in the evening simply because by the end of the day, I'm pretty tired. So going for a run on my fatigued legs makes it a lot more work and takes a lot of joy out of running. And I enjoy being able to start my day with a run and then get it out of the way. Do you prefer morning or evening exercise?
So I would agree that for me, morning is by far the best because I can schedule that time and I guarantee I can do it. If I do wait later in the day, then it's, again, fatigue at the end of the day, other things you have to do that get in the way. The morning is just a cleaner schedule for me and a better routine for me to do it in the morning.
So the one thing that I'll tell a lot of patients when we're talking about exercise and trying to build a routine is ultimately that I do typically encourage more people to exercise in the morning because most people are going to have more control over their morning. They have control over the time that they can set the alarm clock. They have control over the time that they get up before they have to be to their next obligation. So most people, if they have to be to work at 8, they can control when they set that alarm to get up to get their routine done in order to get time to get ready for work. But you can't always control the evenings. Sometimes you are busy with meetings in the evenings, or there are things are way more likely to come up at 5, 6, or 7 o'clock at night than they are to come up at 5, 6, or 7 o'clock in the morning. So that for that reason, I do think morning exercise has maybe more benefits as well.
But the key thing, as you said, is what is the right time for you? Everybody's different. Certainly, if you're retired, you can do it at a different time. If your work is done at 3 in the afternoon, you can do it then. So find out what works best for you.
And then the last thing that I'm going to touch on is just how much exercise is beneficial. So your goal is to get at least 150 minutes of kind of moderately intense exercise each week. So 30 minutes, 5 days a week is a really good baseline. Now, if you up the intensity and it's more vigorous, you can look at doing it for a little bit less time, less sessions, and then adding in a couple of strength training days. Ideally, at least 2 strength training days a week would be good. So that may look like for you that you're doing 30 minutes of, or maybe let's say 20 minutes of some more vigorous exercise 3 days a week, and 2 days a week you do the strength training, or you have some days where you maybe do 30 minutes of activity and then you do 20 minutes of strength training afterwards so that you're getting some cardiovascular in, but you're also working on all of those muscle groups to strengthen them, protect yourself from injury, and work on longevity.
So, Ashley, I mean, it's really to start an exercise program, it doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be super long time. It's basically just get started, right?
Right. So the typical questions are how much time, how long are you going to do it? How many days a week? And then what are you going to do? So a very easy place to start is 20 minutes, 2 times a week. And maybe the person does just start with walking. Walking has great benefits. It doesn't probably have, it's not enough intensity to reach everything you need, but start asking yourself those questions, find what's realistic, and go from there. Certainly it sounds great to say that you're going to get up at 5 a.m. and work out for an hour every morning. But if right now you're barely dragging your butt out of bed at 7 and you don't like most forms of exercise, an hour at 5 a.m. is just not going to be a realistic place for you to start. So you have to start realistically and then you can build from there.
And create a habit and start enjoying it, and it will come. The enjoyment comes with it.
So Wayne, I think you have some interventions for us.
So when we talk about interventions and specifically as what you're going to do, Ashley kind of touched on this. What do I want to do? What will I enjoy? What is it that I want to get started on? When can I do it? So you got to plan this stuff out and how long. So let's say, okay, I'm willing to get up 15 minutes early and I'm going to do that at 6:30 and I'll do it for 15 minutes. Well, that's a good time to start. You could do some exercise we'll talk about here later that can easily fit into there, or start with some simple things at home. But also you can just tie things into just your daily routine. When you're doing brushing your teeth, do some squats. When you're fixing dinner, have a weight there that you can lift up a few times. It doesn't have to be a super lot, but just start doing something.
Your spouse will most definitely appreciate a 15-pound dumbbell sitting on their kitchen counter.
Most people would. So, even just trying walking snacks throughout the day. And, if your job, you're stuck at the desk, it wouldn't be, if you could get time during lunch, go outside and do a walk, in the office, do something like that. But just try to break that up and see when you can increase that activity. After meals is a good time to do a short little walk, and it really helps with your blood sugar and blood pressure spikes and doing that. But, you know, if you sit at a desk and if you have to make a copy, go to the copier. Anytime you can even stand at your desk is good, but we got to put those breaks in there. And there's also good ways you can just do different exercise every hour. You can do some squats again at your desk, you can do some push-ups against the desk, but just doing things on a regular basis is going to be very beneficial for you. And we talked about the blue zones in our pillars of health before. But in the blue zones, the key thing with their health and wellness is the fact that they move often. They're not going to the gym, they're not doing it, whatever. They're moving all the time. And that's when you're going to find the greatest benefit in exercise and movement. So high intensity interval training is a great way to get a lot done in a short amount of time. It helps with your physical fitness. It improves your insulin sensitivity. It builds mitochondria in your muscle to give you energy. And again, less time spent in the gym. So what is high intensity interval training? Well, one easy way to look at that is get on an exercise bike. Spend 30 seconds to 1 minute riding that bike as hard as you can, kind of running or getting away from a bear, resting for 30 seconds to a minute, and doing that for 5 minutes. Build it up to 8 minutes, build it up to 10 minutes, 20 minutes. 20 minutes is kind of that perfect window for you, but this is a great way to get a lot done in a short amount of time. And there's things called 7 minute workouts that would be really good to do in the morning where you do jumping jacks, push-ups, squats, things like that in short intervals with a short rest and then doing that again. But high intensity interval training a couple times a week is a fantastic way to build your physical fitness and help with multiple health issues. So our takeaways, find something you enjoy doing. And there are things you enjoy doing, Zumba classes, dance classes, swim classes, um, we're seeing just so much excitement over group classes in town here. All of our facilities in here and provide group classes, and we have a ton of facilities that are great. They're open a lot. They're very enjoyable to go to for the social interaction, but also for the exercise. But you don't have to go to a gym. You can do it in your home. You can do it outside. And we especially encourage outside exercise when the weather is better and whenever you can do that. You got to establish a routine. I mean, I'm in a routine now that I'm able to get it done and I enjoy doing it. And as she said earlier, she doesn't run, she feels bad. And you don't want to feel guilty or anything like that. Rest is super important, but get into a routine and you'll be happy with it. Be consistent with it, whether it's 2 times a week, 3 times a week, be consistent with it. And that's when you'll see the most benefit. And as you go, you want to increase your intensity and so that you're getting continual benefit from it. And you want to sweat through it if you can, because that's going to help with detoxification and other benefits with your exercise.
And certainly there's people that don't, I mean, people all the time, they don't enjoy exercise. Part of that is because you're telling yourself that you don't enjoy exercise. So you're already painting it in a really dark light before you even try it. So you need to go into it with a way more positive attitude. And if you start exercising and you hate doing it, then try something different. There's a multitude of options out there. And I honestly would challenge about anybody to get into an actual consistent routine and 1 month or 2 months later down the road, tell us that you still really hate exercise because you will start to feel a lot better once you start doing it. You just have to be willing to explore it a little bit.
You get that dopamine high, and then you're happier, you're healthier, and you're just proud of yourself too, and pat yourself on the back. So I recently took a class that talked a lot about the benefits of exercise, and I just wanted to touch on that. And as we start treating people for musculoskeletal problems, for overall health problems, us as a clinician, if we can ensure that our patients move regularly or exercise, the potential for that clinical outcome dramatically improves for virtually every medical condition. So exercise is going to have an impact on every health condition we have, and we as physicians need to get that across to our patients, and we're getting that across to you that it's going to help every single medical condition you have. And the release of myokines and exokines are the things that happen in our muscles in our body that really help those medical conditions. So how does that work? Well, physical activity promotes a lot of things in our body. A key thing we hear a lot about is our microbiome. That's the good bacteria in our digestive system. We have it throughout our body. Exercise is a key component of promoting that microbiome diversity. It stimulates the mitochondria biogenesis, and that is key with energy. Mitochondria produce energy in our body. Regenerative hormones in our body to help us live healthier, live longer. It also helps with that. It decreases inflammation. It improves our immune system. It helps with that insulin, so it helps with blood sugar and all those things. It helps it helps with our brain health. It gets that branching of our neurons and makes us healthier. And it also helps repair our vascular system and improve circulation, ultimately leading to accelerated healing. So we got to move. We got to move, and it's going to help us heal better. There is no nutraceutical, no vitamin, nothing out there that helps reduce inflammation as effectively as exercise. And that's why we're doing these pillars of health. This is where it all starts. Everything else is support of this. So we have to really focus on our pillars of health and 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 really work on that. And today we're talking about exercise. We've talked about diet before. We've talked about sleep. We've talked about stress, and we talked about relationships. And those are the key things to help us on the pillars of our health to make us happier and healthier. So we look at somebody with a chronic condition, okay? They have a chronic health problem, whether it's pain or some disease. They have no or limited physical activity. That leads to depression and hopelessness, promotion of inflammation, and reduced healing potential. So that's one person. The other person has a chronic condition. They increase their physical activity, which helps with helping the recovery. It reduces the expression of the chronic condition and improves mental health and optimization. So we can see that no matter what we're suffering from, or if we want to improve and prevent these things, we need to increase that physical activity. And sometimes that's hard to get going. And as we talked about earlier, get started with 5 minutes of walking and build up from there. It's hard to dig out of that hole, but we got to dig out of that hole, and we can do that with exercise, and it'll make a profound impact on your health.
So we want you guys to certainly get started today at working at all of these pillars that we've gone through, but we are more than happy to set up a time to visit with you and help you navigate a plan to get all of those pillars optimized, whether it's challenges with your sleep, whether it's stress or mindfulness, complications that are impacting your health, exercise, nutrition, whether you know you have a complication in those areas or we need to work on some health concerns that will encompass working on these areas, we're certainly happy to help get you back on track. So give our clinic a call if you'd like to get something set up, and then we will certainly be bringing you more webinars in the future.